doing this, and then I found out a few days ago someone dropped out, we needed another session. So this is about DoubleClick for publishers and Drupal sites. I don't know that it'll even go the whole 45 minutes, to tell you the truth, because it's actually pretty easy to get set up. Tiny bit about me. I'm a developer at Spry Digital here in town. We do mostly Drupal and WordPress and focus on Civi CRM. So we have a lot of nonprofit clients. And that's pretty much the end of my slides. The rest of this is going to be all demo. So is everybody here already familiar with DFP? Know what it is? Heard of it at least? Yes, no? No? Okay. So DFP is basically DoubleClick for publishers. It's Google's ad platform. It's pretty much like any of their other products. You just sign up, get an account, they'll set you up. If this is something that you're really thinking about doing, I would suggest getting some training on it, because the docs they're not terrible, they're just really convoluted and not that straightforward. Like, you find things out when things are broken and you're trying to fix them. At least that's been my experience. But they do have a free publisher university. Is that large enough you guys can see it? So yeah, if you just Google Publisher University, you can get some training, you can get certification. I would suggest doing that, because the way I've learned this is under the wire, trying to get ads on a site. So basically the first thing you're going to need to do is get the DFP module. It has a couple dependencies, and they are, let's look at that real quick. Can't even see my own screen. You're going to need system, which is already there, ctools, which is usually there on a Drupal site. If you're doing Drupal, you can't do anything without ctools. Taxonomy is in core, options is in core, field. The only one you're going to have to download is entity modified. And then I would suggest also using token, because if you want to get really complicated where you want to serve certain ads based on taxonomy terms on a node, you can do that using token. So you want to install that. And once you've got your DFP account set up, you're going to need to add some tags. This is not real intuitive, this whole interface, like most of Google's stuff once you get in there. If you've ever used AdWords, it's about that confusing. So what you need to do is set up an ad unit. And I've already set up this test ad unit, and you'll see why in a bit, but we'll go ahead and jump in and create a new one. So basically you need like a machine name, and it can't have spaces in it. So use underscores, dashes. There are here. I'll show you about the documentation. So that actually showed you. Oh, okay. Never mind. That's not. When we get farther down, I'll show. You want to give it some sizes. They have standard ones. I would suggest using the standards if you're going to do this, because if you decide at some point to backfill with Google's ad network, you're going to want to have standard sizes. So let's see. What do I already have? I already have some creative for 300 by 600, so we'll just go with that. Let's see. Probably want to target blank, because you don't want people leaving your site and not coming back.
Is this for serving Google ads, or can you serve your own?
You can serve your own. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. This is just the first thing you have to do. So you have to have an ad tag first. You got to make sure it's active. It's active. If you stop using them, you can make them inactive. like I'm saying, none of this is real intuitive. So what do you think we have to do next? You can't really tell. You want to go to delivery and create a new order. So, and I have a test order already set up. So we'll do a new one just to walk you through it. You'll need an advertiser, which I already have some set up. Those are easy enough to set up. You just go in. Where is that actually? There may have actually been a way to do it. Let me start over. Oh, so I would just do it from here. You can add a new company. So you're going to give your line item a name. You want to go ahead and put in the size that you set up for that tag. You're going to want to set a start time, end time, how many you want to set up. Be careful with this because it measures them by day. So if you set too long of a date range and not enough, once you hit the limit for the day, it stops serving ads. So, you set up 10,000 ads and you want them to run for a year, you're never going to see those ads. So the next thing you have to do is add the ad unit that we just set up. So you can add as many ad units as you want to this. So probably the best way to do it is if you have an ad campaign and you have multiple sizes, set them all up in one campaign so it's easier to manage. I'm not going to do this, but this key values is how you can target specific pages and specific regions of the page. So I'll show you guys one of our sites after this is done where we've set up positions 1, 2, and 3. So you would have to set that up as well if you want to actually target regions on the page or target specific content. And I'm not sure why it did that. Okay. So you save that, and then you look, when you go out and look at your line item, you can see the status is in draft. It's like, wonder what's that? You need to approve it. And of course, I've never not had it tell me there was an overbooking. I'm not really sure what that means. Ads still serve. And most everything I've Googled about it doesn't really tell you either.
Well, I know you can do ads either by date or by number.
Right.
So maybe you have to set, maybe your number is higher than...
Yeah, I've got other ads running too.
Oh.
So that's part of the problem, I think. What's up, man? Okay. You're just gonna have to chill, man. He's gonna do some art for us while this is going on.
All right.
So now you can see we don't have any creatives. So that's our next step. Get into the line item. And usually if you don't have any creative, it'll tell you. So we need to add a new, I'm gonna add new here, but as you can see, I don't know if that's large enough for you guys to see. There's lots of different things you could choose from. I would suggest not using Flash, and we all know why. You can do your own custom code. You can do HTML5 animation. Mostly I've dealt with images and a little bit with custom code. But basically all you do, you click image, you give it a name, choose a file, and set a URL. Can you sit down, man? Just play with your Pokemon?
I was going to draw still.
Okay, go ahead and draw. That's fine.
This is my masterpiece.
All right, man. Okay, so what did I do wrong here? Saying invalid URL. Oh, because example.com is probably not a real website.
You think it would?
Yeah. We'll try that. And of course, you can add all these other things, but these are the bare minimum you need. It's not, okay, our preview is working. You can click on it. It actually goes where it's supposed to go. But then when you look back at your line item, actually your test, you can see it says ready. So I don't know how many times clients have set up ads and they tell me, it's not showing up, it's not showing up. It takes about an hour or so for these things to actually show up. So if you do start doing this, let them know. They'll forget and they'll freak out every single time because they wait till day of to actually add their creative. And then their client's mad at them because their advertising isn't where it should be. So I went ahead and did one last night so I would have one. And once you've installed on your Drupal site your DFP module under structure, you'll find DFP ad tags. And you're going to want to set up your global settings first. So you'll need your network ID, which you can see in your URL. It has to have the slash in front of it or it won't work. And I believe there is a little help text that tells you that, so you won't be struggling with that. I've heard from people who do DFP for a living not to do the render ads asynchronous, or the combine all requests into a single request. And for everything I've ever had to do, it doesn't work unless you do. So, and what they say is like, it doesn't work if you do, but I've seen the opposite. So maybe it's a Drupal thing. It may be different on other sites.
Pancakes up there.
And then you can collapse your divs. Oh, another thing, when you're doing this, don't have ad block on. Or you're going to be like, where are my ads? They're not showing up. I don't know how many people have called me, sent me a screenshot. The ad's not there, and I can see the little ad block stop sign in the corner. It's like, yep, I think I know why. So there's all kinds of configuration here, but I've never had to do any of it really, because I haven't had to do that complicated of a setup, but you can get pretty crazy with this stuff. So there's a test page, which is nice. If you have more than one tag set up, you can see everything that's there. So as you can see, the ad that I did last night, which is exactly like what we just did, is there. But I didn't show you how to do that at all, did I? Okay. So you'll want to add an ad slot. Basically what this does is creates a block for you. to use around the site, wherever you want to use it. So, and usually it needs to be named the machine name of the Google ad for it to work. You can put anything here, but you need it down here or it's not going to work. You also want to get a size in there. It defaults to creating a block. If you're doing like 0x0 ad tags, like what they call an out of page, which those are really complicated to set up. I'm not going to get into that because I really don't remember how to do it, honestly. Hey man.
I just want to stay into you. Okay.
So, sorry guys. You have to turn this off, and you have to use context to place those kind of ads. This responsive settings, I've never been able to get it to work, and it may have been because we were using panels and doing some other things. It seems like if you want to do responsive, just do it yourself with CSS, showing and hiding the blocks. Seems to work the best. When I showed you that position thing, this is where you would put that in. So since we didn't set any, but basically you would say, I want it to show up in position 1. If you turn on token, you can also target things that are actually on the page itself. So you can target the node type, you can target taxonomy terms on that node, fields on that node, so that, like, and I'll show you one of the sites I did, that we had advertisers that only wanted their ads to show on their content. So that was something we had to figure out there. So we'll save this. It's not going to show up on the test page, but you can see that there's a, what do you need? There is a place for it. So once you've done that, once you have something showing on the test page, all you need to do is go to blocks and find the block down here, configure it, save the block, and I'm using the same theme for front and back, so it's going to show up in the front and the back. So it doesn't look beautiful, but there it is. It's pretty much that easy. It can get a lot more complicated than that. We have a current client right now, and they wanted, of course, it's a responsive site, so they want responsive ads. So you can see we've got a few different sizes. There's one here. It's supposed to not serve the same advertiser on the same page. There are settings for that in DFP. I haven't actually seen them work. But at the same time, we only have 3 advertisers on this site, so that might have something to do with it. But as you can see, you take the screen size down, and it serves up a different sized ad.
Same client or
Different clients, yeah. It usually switches the ad. I think because it loads them all at once. So they're just shown and hidden with CSS. And instead of using blocks on this site, I'm actually printing them directly in the templates. I wrote a little function in template PHP so that you can just call a block directly into the template, because it was just the easiest way for us to do it. And that setup, really the position 1, 2, 3 was the most difficult thing about it. On this site, this is one I did for an older client when I was working somewhere else. They wanted all kinds of things. They have a truly responsive ad at the top, so it actually gets smaller. They have a few in the sidebar. As you can see, they like their ads here. They have another leaderboard ad right here. And then I hope they have this set up correctly. So you're still seeing that one. And as you can see, this is, sorry?
It's all their own ads.
Yeah, so this is sponsored content. And this is the case where they only wanted their own ads to show. And I can show you how we did that. So same place, DFP and tags. So they've got different targeting here. They have and all these key value pairs have to be set up in DFP or it will not work. I don't know how many times they called me and said, it's not working. I'd get into their ad, they hadn't set the key value up. So yeah, it's not working. But it looks here, they're targeting a term, they're targeting a field value. This one, they have a newsletter where they want certain ads to show on certain days. So they have to set that date value. Maslow, a little quieter, bud. And then they want it also to show up in a particular position. And I can't remember if this will crash the site or not. It's their dev site. I'm not real worried about it. I don't know. Have you guys ever used token module? Sometimes when you get too many, the site can't handle it and it can't load. Have you seen that? Yeah. And you'll just get a white screen. So token is pretty cool because you can just put, it's kind of like a shortcode in WordPress. You just drop this, pretty much anything you want to drop in, and it will feed that value in. So I don't have it enabled on my dev. So yeah, if you want to do those truly responsive ads, you need to set them up.
So that's why you need to place the token in that one.
Right, in the value field. And it'll look in the node for it. And when it finds that sponsor, it'll serve that sponsor's ads. You can do it by taxonomy too. If you only want any article that's about bears, you want an ad to show up, just put bears as your value.
An article about bears? Who likes an article about bears?
Everyone. So this is that responsive ad. You need to do it as a 1x1 in DFP and choose custom. And that way you can throw in your own code, your own markup for that responsive image. It makes it a lot easier to target. And you'll, for some reason, I don't remember why, I'm sorry, I'm not super prepared with the late notice, but for some reason the responsive need this key value too, the DCOPT, and the value needs to be IST. I think it's a Google thing. I found all this out. There is no one page that shows you how to set up these kind of ads. It's I must have read probably 10 different Google help articles to finally figure out how to do it all. And then no one ever remembers how to actually do it. So each time the ad never works, and then you have to jump in there, read the article again, figure out how to do it again. But we finally got it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't have too much more. If there's any questions, or if you guys want to try to actually set up some crazy ones, we can do that.
I got a question. Can I say something in the microphone?
No.
Okay.
Sit down.
So DFP is not a Google product, it's a Drupal product.
No, DFP is a Google product. So this module is just a module that someone contributed to make it work with Drupal, to make it easier. You can hard code the stuff into your templates. You don't have to use the module. This just makes it easier so you don't have to do any coding.
Yeah, on your analytics and stuff.
Yeah, so all your analytics will be tracked by Google. And you can, like I said, if you really want to get into this, I'd take one of their courses, because trying to figure it out on your own is not easy. Because
Take one of whose was
yeah, they have a, let me pull it up again. It's called Publisher University.
Okay.
So yeah, I would, it's free too, I believe. And then you can get certified and start, because I haven't met anyone who's really good at this who just also is a developer. It's usually a person who focuses just on this.
Yeah.
And they seem hard to find too. I mean, granted, ads seem like they're not a big thing anymore, but I've done 2 sites with ads in the past year, and I had never done one before that. So people are still doing them. There's still a demand for them. So.
It's complicated.
Yeah, and what I showed you was like about as simple as you can make it. But yeah, if you want to get really, really complicated, where you're targeting certain taxonomy terms, or you're targeting a specific date, or even a region of the page, you can do that.
I love spinning.
Oh, okay. I'm not, it's one of my other email accounts, that's why. You have to have a DoubleClick account before you can get access to the training. So, but those are easy to set up. It's just like, you just go there and fill out a form. And they'll,
clicked on your own ads.
yeah.
I've had everybody get banned for he only did it
I mean, you have to click them when you're testing them to make sure they work, but, you know.
too many times.
Yeah, I don't think we had too many problems with that. With, I mean, usually you can just hover the ad and see what the URL is. And there's also, there's a console. Which if you just, there's a couple ways you can do it. You can either use inspect element or directly in the browser. That's not what I wanted. We'll do the inspect element way. You can just run this JavaScript directly from the console itself. Google tag is not defined. Well, usually it will let's try it on the other side. It'll give you information about all your ads, as you can see down here. It'll show you where each one is. This is showing me hidden ads as well, because they're They're loaded in the page, but they don't show because we're hiding them. But if you're ever having problems where something's not showing, it'll usually give you some kind of error message or something like that in the bottom here. A lot of times I've found it's usually just because somebody didn't set up a key value pair, or they didn't add the right add tag, or like I said, the job hasn't started serving yet. Because let's look. See, it's still not delivering. And I set that up, what, like half hour ago? Sometimes you'll see it as ready and there is something wrong, but it doesn't tell you. So you'll just kind of have to look around and make sure you actually have creative, and make sure you actually have your key values set up, your tag added. So we do have our ad unit. We do have creative. So it's just a waiting game at this point. If it does get to be like an hour or so and nothing's showing up, then it is some other issue. And it's probably not going to tell you what that issue is.
Guys, okay if I pee outside?
No, let's go to the bathroom up here.
I don't like being by myself.
Well, then you're just going to have to wait. Sorry, bud. Sorry, guys. Buddy, go. Okay. Are there any more questions? We're having a bathroom emergency here.
Do you know the status of the Drupal 8 version of the?
There's a dev version. I've never used it. I would imagine, I mean, all it does is create a block and let you place it, so I think it probably works pretty well.
What did he ask?
Drupal 8, if it works in Drupal 8.
Oh,
There's a dev version, it's just not, you know. Can you go by yourself? Okay. Anybody else? Okay. Yeah, sorry this is a little short, guys, but if you do have any other questions, just hit me up. I'll be around, and I'll be here tomorrow too for the sprint.
all right.
Thanks.